Hello, hello. It's Tina here from Pleasant Media. I just wanted to drop in. We're going to talk today about marketing plans and how to create a customized marketing plan. So stay tuned because I'm also going to be dropping my freebie, which is a fully customizable marketing plan for your business that's going to just explode your growth. So stay tuned. Hi, everyone. So I'm so glad that you're all here with me today. Um, and we're really going to really break down how to do a marketing plan. Okay. So marketing plans are so important. And I use the analogy often on driving and relate that to why marketing plans are important. So you are not going to jump in your car without a plan. You don't jump in your car if you don't have a destination, a how, a where, or how do you know when you've got there, right? So or got there, arrived. How do you know when you've arrived? It's been a day. So that's what a marketing plan does for small businesses. It gives you your idea of when you're going to arrive and how you're going to get there and what does that destination even look like. So we are really going to walk through ABCs of a marketing plan, only it's kind of more than ABCs. So the first thing that you need to think about when you're putting together your marketing plan is your objective. Why are you even marketing? Why are you online? What do you hope to achieve? This is not a place to put your goals. This is where you're going to put your why. Why are you where you are? Okay? So that's your objective. And by the way, tell me in the comments down below if you are super interested in this content. If you really need to know how to create this marketing plan, let me know. I want to hear from you. So now you've got the objective all kind of ironed out. So you could add the objective at the end, kind of like an executive summary in a proposal. Once you've done everything, you kind of want to summarize all of those plans and put them at the top in the objective. You could absolutely do that. No big deal. Once you've ironed out all those details. So what is included in my marketing plan? The marketing plan that I use for my business, what's included and how is it going to help you? So what's included is first the description. So we're going to talk about your business. Who are you? What do you do? Where are you located? Who's on your team? What is your mission statement? But we don't just stop there. We're also going to talk about a SWOT analysis. So let me know in the comments if you know what a SWOT analysis is. SWOT, SWOT analysis. Okay, so SWOT, SWOT analysis means what are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So what are the strengths that you have that you can offer that maybe nobody else is, right? So this is your unique thing that you have to close the gap and to meet the need of your preferred customers. And then what are your weaknesses? So this is really important. It's not just about strengths, it's about your weaknesses. What do you have going on that you could improve on and put that in front of, in that plan so that you can actually see that. And maybe that's how your competitors can reach people. Maybe that's something that you want to consider getting better at. It's not a requirement, of course, but it's an option. So then the O stands for opportunities. Opportunities. So this does not mean what opportunities do you offer in your business. This means what opportunities do you have to grow your business? What opportunities do you have to make your 5-year plan a success, to make your 10-year plan go beyond that, right? So what do you have? What opportunities do you have? For me, it might be offering a digital product, might be offering a course, a membership, something along those lines, because I'm a digital marketer. But for you, if you're a jewelry store or an accountant or something along those lines, maybe you offer one-to-one trainings or for accountants, or maybe you offer like another product or another service that you see that might be needed in your market. So that's your opportunity. And then your threat. So this is really, and I talk about competitors and I talk about it more in depth and later on in the marketing plan, but threats are your competitors. Who are they? What are they doing great? What aren't they doing great? What can you really get out of that? So that's what to include in the first section. Who you are, what your name is, where you're located, who works with you, what your mission statement is, and do a complete SWOT analysis. Now, this video might only be 20, 30 minutes long, but creating a marketing plan is pretty robust and should take you quite a little bit of time. You don't want to create a marketing plan in an hour because then it's not really going to hit right. So you need to spend some time because you need to do research. So I'm going to back up a minute because we're going to talk about research. I'm going to get on this soapbox. You shouldn't be at this step unless you've done your market research. That is the truth. You should not be planning out how you're going to market your service or products until you have done your research. You need to figure out, why is your product sought after or service sought after? Who's going to like it? Who's going to buy it? What has been done in your market and what hasn't been done that maybe you can do. Those are all like consumer type research things that should have been done before putting the plan together. So when I say the marketing plan might take a little bit of time, maybe you need to stop here and go do that marketing research, because maybe that's why your marketing efforts up to now, if it has been failing, is failing, right? Because you don't even know if you have a quality product. And if you don't have a quality product, no amount of marketing in the world is going to get you to make sales. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. You could market something that is a complete flop that nobody wants to buy, and you could market your head off and be an excellent marketer, but if nobody wants to buy it, it's not going anywhere. So that's where that market research is going to come in. So before you do any of this that we're talking about today, make sure you have your research done. All right, so the next section in marketing plan is goals. What do you hope to accomplish? This is different than your objective. This is actual goals. And I want to touch on a little bit of each of these. So we're going to talk about SMART goals. What is a SMART goal? Let me know in the comments if you know what SMART goal actually is. It's SMART goal. Let me know down below. So an SMART goal or SMART goal means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. Okay, so say you're trying to draft a social media campaign and what you want to do is, increase your followers. That's not your goal. My goal is not to increase my followers on my Instagram page. My goal might be, I want to increase my followers by 10 per month for the entire month of July. Or I want to increase my Instagram followers 10 per month for the entire third quarter, okay, of the year. So what is that goal and how is that different? So when you just say, I want to get more followers, how do you know that you got more followers? How do you know it's good enough? How do you know how to do it? How do you know when to stop doing it? So there's all those things that are really kind of vague when you just say, I want to get more followers. But when you set a SMART goal and you actually say, I want to get 10 followers per month in the third quarter of the year, that is really kind of breaking that down. So it's specific. You want followers. It is measurable because you can use it by watching your audience growth in your metrics. It's attainable because it's not completely unrealistic, right? You're not saying you want to gain 10,000 followers a month. You're saying 10. It's relevant. And this is big, especially when we're talking about followers, but that's another video. How is gaining 10 more followers relevant to what you do? It's going to put you in front of more people, yes, but is it going to make you money? So you really have to think about, is it relevant to be growing your audience base? In a lot of businesses, it is. And it's because you want more eyes on your brand. But make sure that those are good quality customers. We'll talk about that in a minute in your target market section. That's going to actually convert, because otherwise it's just people taking up space. And it can actually hurt you more than it can help you. And we'll talk about that in another video. So we talked about, let's see, attainable, right? So it's realistic, and then relevant because you want to get in front of more people, and then time-based, the third quarter of the year. That's how you know. So after the third quarter, then you can use your measurements to track to see if you hit your goal. So that's a SMART goal, and that's why it's important. And also, we want to make sure, we're going to move on to something else in the same, category, in the goals category. We want to make sure that your business goals align with your digital marketing goals. So say your business goal is you want to increase your revenue by 5% this year. Okay. How can you position your digital marketing goals to align with those business goals? And that's important because otherwise you have two completely different purposes. So you want to make more sales. That's how you're going to increase your revenue, or make more, have more clients, or whatever, you do for a business. Okay, but how can your social media help, or not social media, excuse me, digital marketing help you with that? Which includes social media, yes. So how can that kind of align so that you are posting more to your ultimate goal, which is what you want to do? And then measurements. How are you going to know if you're successful? How are you going to measure your efforts to make sure that you are hitting the right audience, that you're making sales, that you're doing this the right way, that you're doing everything that you want, that you've achieved these goals or are on the track to achieve these goals? You need to have sound measurements. And I'll talk about all the metrics that are useful in digital marketing on another video. But those are really important. You need to kind of sort those out to make sure that you're doing the right thing. And then success. How do you know that you've been successful? What does that look like for you? So what success looks like to me might look completely different to you. What success looks like to me might be signing 4 clients. And yay, I'm successful. But what it might look like to you is $50,000 more a year. So success is completely intangible, in my opinion. It's not something that you can reach out and grab. And it really, really varies from person to person. But you need to define what it means to you. And you need to understand that so that you know when you are actually being successful. Okay, so the third section of this marketing plan, let me know if this is resonating with you down below. Let me know how you're feeling. Have you set SMART goals before? Have you done a marketing plan and it kind of flopped? Like, what are you feeling? What are your takeaways from what you've done up to now and what you think you might do after today? Okay, so the next section is target market. Who are you talking to? Like, really, who are you talking to? And this is kind of it. Because without your customers, clients, or consumers in some way, you don't make any money. You might as well put your hat in and be done and walk away. So who are you talking to? What's your industry? First, let's define the industry. Are you a digital marketer? Is your industry like mine? Small business owners. That's my industry. I want to help small business owners. That's included in my mission statement. That's what I do. Are you a jewelry provider and your industry is jewelry and you only do jewelry, or do you do jewelry and maybe accessories? Those are all important, and you need to identify those because it makes your market more niched down. I've heard it niched or niched. I say niched. Niche down so that you can deliver specific messages. And then also buyer personas. You need to identify your buyer personas. And this is separate from knowing your complete target market as a whole. This is really specific. So I have 2 buyer personas right now. I'm developing a third. I have Molly and Ben. Molly is a mom. She's a mompreneur, right? She has some children. She owns a small business. Maybe she's a one-person show. Maybe she has a team, but she enjoys reading. She enjoys nature. She's a lot like me. In what I enjoy. So I kind of can relate to Molly really well. And I use her name quite often in my messages and my content plans because I know what relates to Molly. I know what maybe Molly might relate to. And then I also have Ben. Ben is my male small business owner, and he is maybe older. Age range usually around 35 to 55. And I say older loosely because I'm approaching older, as I just said it, so I'll be very careful. But he's kind of older. He didn't grow up in the social media, digital marketing world, so maybe he's not as knowledgeable as I might be, so I can help him with these things. And he also likes to read and do nature and things like that. So I really am specific in my buyer personas and who I like to market to or who I want to market to because those are my ideal customers. And that's what your buyer persona is your ideal customer. And then you need to do a competitive analysis. So in that target market section, we've covered industry, buyer personas, and then you need to really look at your competitor analysis. So we talked about this a little bit when we talked about SWOT analysis, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We talked about that in your threats section. But this is a full-on, dig deep, get right in there competitor analysis. Who are you up against? So, I mean, that's huge. So say you are a small jewelry store, your competitors are like the big ones, the ones that are in the mall. Maybe there are other small business ones that are in your local area. These are all, people that you need to identify, and you need to list them out. Open up an Excel spreadsheet or Google Sheets spreadsheet and really kind of lay those out. And once you do that, then you really need to focus on what they're good at. What are your competitors good at? What do they do well? What drives them above you in your business? And sometimes it really Let's talk about the psychological aspect of this for a minute. Sometimes it kind of is hard to dig into what somebody else might be doing better than you. But in creating a marketing plan, it is really, really important, because how are you going to deliver your service or your message if you don't know how to deliver it? So in this competitor analysis, it's important to see what your competitors are doing better than you. But then there's also the other side, and it's important to also look at what your competitors are doing that or aren't doing that you could be doing, right? So what's lacking? If your competitor is a jewelry store, they're a big jewelry store, one of the big ones that are in like a mall, right? Maybe they're lacking that personalization because they're a chain, so they don't have that down home kind of feeling of a small business. That's a huge thing for some people. And if that's lacking, fill the gap. And you can do that by being personable. So you need to understand both sides of that, what they're doing well and what they're not doing. And what they're not doing, you need to then position yourself to be able to deliver on that, because that's what your customers are going to be looking for. They don't want the big guys if they don't think that they're going to suit their needs. You need to figure out what it is that you can, what problem you can solve for your customers that somebody else is not. Okay? So those are the sections in the target market. So the next category that comes down in the marketing plan is your market strategy. How are you going to do all of this stuff? So the first part of that is your product and service. And I want you to really break it down, every single thing that you offer. So I want you to break down your bracelets that you offer if you're a jewelry store. I want you to break down the services you offer if you're an accounting firm. I want you to break it down, and then I want you to put your prices to it. So that's the first two sections in this category, is product and service, and then your price points. How much does each of those things cost your consumer? And that's not a part of your budget. When you're doing your budget and saying how much it's going to cost you, how much is it going to cost your consumer and what you're going to sell it for? And promotion. How do you plan to get that in front of your customer? And we'll talk more about channels later. It's one of the other sections in my marketing plan. But what is your kind of overview of how you're going to promote it? What kind of tone are you using? And this is important. What is your brand voice? What is your tone? How are you going to communicate? I communicate in my brand as a fun, energetic person, because that's who I am. I'm outgoing. I like to talk. I really enjoy teaching people and learning stuff. And that's kind of what I like to portray when I'm talking to my ideal customers. And that's what you need, in that area where I talk about promotion. What are you going to do for your brand voice? What does that look like? How does what does the branding of the actual products or your business look like? So in promotion, you need to kind of make sure that all those are in line. And then the other section is roles. So who's going to do what? Do you have more than one person on your team? And if you do, who's going to do what? If you're a one-person show, unfortunately, you're going to do everything. But who's going to do what? Okay. And then deliverables. What does the customer walk away with? What are you providing? Are you providing an actual product like a bracelet or a necklace? Are you providing a service like social media management, where when the customer walks away, they walk away with a peace of mind that their social media is being handled in a way that's going to bring them more business? That's what you're delivering. That's the problem that you're solving. And then measurements. How are you going to make sure it's all successful? How are you going to track it? Are you going to use website referral traffic? Are you going to use conversions, sales, revenue, all of that stuff? They're all parts of measurements. And this is where you really dig deep into that. So we talked about a marketing plan, and that's this entire thing as a whole. And then this section or this category is really marketing strategy. So your plan is what you're going to do. Your strategy is how you're going to do it. And then this is just true talk right here. A plan without action is just words on paper. I'll say it again for those in the back. A plan without action is just words on paper. Okay? And then action without a goal is just a dream. Nope, I said that wrong. A goal without action is just a dream. You got to work. So this is where the strategy comes in and helping you learn how you're going to do that. Then the next category in the budget plan, and then the next category in the marketing plan is your budget. How much you're going to spend on marketing? Are you going to use a lot of your budget on Facebook ads? Are you going to use a lot of your budget on Google ads? Are you going to do a lot of pay-per-click stuff? Do you need to hire a website person? Do you need to hire a social media manager? Do you need help with SEO? And do you need to hire somebody for that? So your budget needs to be all inclusive of all of those things. And make sure you map that out. You're going to have an estimated X amount of money to go towards this. And then what if you don't have any money? Well, get money. And then you're going to do that by marketing. And then as you get more money, you can put more money into your marketing to kind of push you ahead. It really, after a minute of real hard work, and I say minute by like maybe years, but after a while of hard work, you hit a snowball effect. And I've seen it happen to people. I've watched it be taught in courses that I've taken. I'm working on it myself, but you need to work really, really hard if you're just starting out. You need to work really, really hard for quite a while. And then once you start making money, you can start putting more money into your marketing. And once you start putting more money into your marketing, you get more results, hence make more money. And it just kind of snowballs into itself to create a good revenue base. So budget. Make sure you budget accordingly. What I personally do is any profit that I make from my business goes right back into my marketing. Right now, because I have a full-time job, I can do that. Any profit I make goes right back into my marketing because I have a full-time job that handles all of my living expenses. So to get my business off the ground and to move forward, all of that profit goes back into it. Okay, and the last thing that I want to talk about in the marketing plan is marketing channels. How or what are you going to use to get your message out there? Are you going to use social media? What are you going to use in social media? Are you going to use YouTube? Are you going to use LinkedIn? Are you going to use Facebook? And I got to tell you, and this is hard for people to hear, that each of these strategies have to be different. So if you are going to do email marketing, by the way, I suggest doing email marketing. If you are going to do email marketing, that strategy should be different than if you're going to do marketing on Facebook, because those two messages are not going to resonate the same. If you're doing an email marketing and you also want to do LinkedIn, you have to have two different strategies. So that's very important. And then you're probably thinking, Tina, how am I going to have time for all this? Let me know if you're thinking that in the comments. Tina, how am I going to find time to do all of these channels? You're not. Find channels that you're comfortable with and stick with those. So say you can only do a YouTube channel and Instagram. Only do those, but do it well. Okay? Do it consistently. And put that in your marketing plan of what channels you want to use. And that sums it up, folks. That is my customizable marketing, That is my customizable marketing plan. Objective, who you are, where you're coming from, where you're located, what's your mission statement, a SWOT analysis, and then we're going to talk about goals, SMART goals, social media goals, business goals, digital marketing goals, all of that stuff, how you're going to measure that and what success means. Target market, who are you going to talk to? So you're going to talk about your industry. You're going to really dig deep into marketing or buyer personas and do a competitor analysis. Then you're also going to look at market strategy. And this is much different than a plan, as we talked about. How are you going to do this? You're going to talk about your product, how much it costs, how you're going to push it out, what tone you're going to use, who's going to do what in your business, what is the customer going to walk away from, and how are you going to measure success? And that's a little more in depth in that measurement than it is before. Your budget. What can you afford? What should you be putting your money towards? And then lastly, marketing channels. What are you going to use to push that message forward? So I really hope that you guys found this helpful. Let me know in the comments if you want my free marketing plan, completely customizable to you. I will also put it in the description box, and I will also put it in the show notes. If you're interested in grabbing that, go ahead and click on that link and grab the marketing plan. Valuable, completely free. It's yours to take away from this video. Be sure to click subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you know the next time that I post a video. And be sure to like this video as well, just to give me a little love. And if you're listening on the podcast, make sure you subscribe so you know the next time I come out with an episode. Thank you all. Bye.